Welcome back, Table Talk and Tumbleweeds. Today we're talking about Lord of the Rings, and we're basically Sam and Frodo and Gollum / Smeagol are about to enter into Mordor. They're heading onto Smeagol's lair, and they are on the stairs at Corinth Ungol, which apparently I pronounce it with a hard C. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, make comments, share anything you want to. So in the previous video from this week, we talked about how Sam and Gollum / Smeagol are different and the same, and some of the insights that has about servanthood, and servanthood being love of others, whereas Gollum at least only loves himself, only loves the ring, and everything is transactional.
Yeah.
But there's an interesting observation that you made, and this is out of something that Tolkien said, that Sam and Gollum are actually parallels, and Tolkien talked about this as two possible responses to the same reality, right? Both of them are proximity to burden, power, love, and all of this through their shared relationship with Frodo. So this is this love triangle.
Yeah. So we'll put a link to a Wikipedia page or something like that on this letter. It's number 246, and he wrote it after the publishing. This was written in 1963, and so this is him looking back on it and saying, I think this is what happened. And so it's a really interesting letter to look back and say, this is what the world looked like when I was writing this.
Yes. So these mirrors, these mirror images of each other, and I think that makes one of the crucial similarities between Gollum and Sam, is that both of them could go either way of the path, right? They're both capable of falling or redemption.
Yeah, and we don't talk enough about the possibility of Gollum's redemption.
Or of Sam's
fall,
right?
Yeah, and part of that is because we
Sam
don't
is so
see
good.
those things. Sam is so good he could never fall, and Gollum has spent 2,000 years being corrupted by the ring.
Yes.
There's no way he could be redeemed. Right?
Yes, And
You got to remember, this is a Catholic author, right? He wants it redemption even possible for Gollum.
Even for Gollum, but also Catholic author, even Sam can fall.
Yes.
Yeah, no one is above or below.
Yep.
And I think that the crucial scene for this, and really thinking about it, I guess we'll maybe look at the scene first. And this is on the stairs, and Gollum has left, and Sam and Frodo have both fallen asleep. And up till now, Sam has been wide awake watching Frodo sleep. Right?
Frodo or Sam, one of them is on watch.
Right, and it's usually Sam,
yes.
right? And Sam stays awake, and oh Frodo, Mr. Frodo, you sleep, and
it's
so
because Sam so violently does not trust Gollum.
Doesn't trust Gollum, and he's so protective of Frodo.
Yeah.
So Gollum returns, and he sees Frodo and Sam sleeping. Frodo's head is in Sam's lap. I'll just read the quote. Gollum looked at them. A strange expression passed over his lean, hungry face. The gleam faded from his eyes, and they went dim and gray, old and tired. A spasm of pain seemed to twist him, and he turned away, peering back up towards the pass, shaking his head as if engulfed in some interior debate. And it's worth noting, what he's looking at is he's looking at the path towards Shelob's lair,
yes.
right? And
which
so
he's made a plan already.
He's made the plan that he's going to lead them up to the lair, and that both of them will die in the lair, and that's how he's going to get the ring. So he looks up, and then he came back, slowly putting out a trembling hand. Very cautiously he touched Frodo's knee, but almost the touch was a caress. For a fleeting moment, could one of the sleepers have seen him, they would have thought that they beheld an old, weary hobbit, shrunken by the years that had carried him far beyond his time, beyond friends and kin, and fields and streams of youth, an old, starved, pitiable thing.
There's pity again.
It's pitiable thing, pity, which, and, someone deserving of kindness, right? And Tolkien talks about Gollum and this scene specifically as, Gollum is moved by affection. And this is why I pushed you a little bit in the previous video, when you said, does Gollum love, maybe Gollum doesn't, but Smeagol does, and that growing love, and you see in this moment that love, that feeling of servanthood, not servitude, that self-giving moment. Maybe I don't have to take him up there. Maybe I can be a true servant to him.
There is, for that one moment, where that internal debate, Smeagol is winning, and he has not won for a long time.
And he has not won for a long time. And in this moment, and like I said, Tolkien describes this as kind of a pivotal moment, right?
Yeah.
And then Sam wakes up and yells at him, get away from him,
Don't touch him.
horrible, And Gollum recalls, and Sam feels bad. Just, I'm sorry, I was tired, I woke up, and he was, and Sam, even because Sam has, a little bit of it has rubbed off, right?
Yeah.
And Sam feels bad. but it's at that moment that the fall is inevitable. In fact,
That's literally what he says.
Tolkien says,
Yep.
right? Things that might not turn out differently. Perhaps the most tragic moment in the tale is in this, when Sam fails to note the complete change in Gollum's tone and aspect. Right, his repentance is blighted, and all of Frodo's pity. Up until this point, Frodo is everyone's pity towards Gollum.
Yep.
Right, in that moment, Sam destroys everything that's happened before then in terms of that, and Shelob's lair becomes inevitable. And this is this is the, and I referred to this before with you as Sam's failure of servanthood, and maybe, and it's not necessarily a failure of servanthood towards Gollum, but a failure of servanthood in terms of a relationship with Frodo.
Mm.
And this goes down to that bizarre love triangle between the three of them.
I guess the question we have to ask somewhere in there is Sam afraid of what Gollum is going to do to him, or is he being possessive? That's my master. And I don't know which one it is. I genuinely couldn't say, and it could be both.
And this is interesting, and you were the one that shared this with me, right? That Sam is cocksure and a little conceited. These are the words of Tolkien. This is Tolkien talking about Sam. But this is transformed by his devotion to Frodo.
Yes.
Right? And you see it in a couple places in the book, much more in the book than in the movie, right? He did not think of himself as heroic except in his service and loyalty to his master, right? So all of Sam's negative feelings and traits are transformed through his loyalty, servanthood towards Frodo.
Yes.
Right? Gollum doesn't get that chance, right? Gollum doesn't get that chance because Sam makes sure that it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah. He finds that little thread of fate and snaps it before it has a chance to come to fruition.
And Tolkien talks about it as pride, Sam's pride and possessiveness, right? It prevented him from fully understand the master that he loved. So he doesn't really understand what Frodo is doing, right?
Yeah.
He does not understand Frodo's motives. He doesn't understand Frodo's distress over Gollum at the Forbidden Pool. He's like, oh, just leave him, right? He can't do it.
And he does not understand his master's compassion.
Right. He doesn't understand, and you sort of see Gollum, and this is in the movie, so it's kind of hard to get that out of my head, but you see this in this beautiful passage, the way Tolkien has written it. Gollum reaching towards this moment of grace, and Sam wakes up and says, "Get away!"
It's so treacherous.
It's so treacherous, and there's that transformation of his self-giving servanthood and love towards his loyalty towards Frodo. He doesn't want to share it.
No. And some of this we can say, they're approaching Mordor, they've been carrying the ring, all of these things corrupt by their nature.
Right.
But does Sam have that solid inner core that is integrity, or is this becoming corrupted to a point where, well, he's mine?
He's my precious.
Precious.
Yeah, Frodo's the precious to Sam, right?
Ooh.
So there is this, and earlier you made an allusion to, people that we've got something good here. We've got. I'm trying to remember what the passage is. People wanting to get a little bit too close to Jesus, and the disciples going, no.
Over and over again, people come to Jesus, and the disciples push them away.
Around, yeah.
So there's the story of the woman who has been
bleeding
for 12 years, and she comes and touches him, and they get away from
Get away, you're unclean.
But there's also the opportunity when the children come, and Jesus is picking them up.
Get away, don't bother him.
Don't bother him, and over again.
Jesus, why do you keep hanging out with these people?
People yell at him on the road, help me, and the disciples say, go away.
Go away.
And we can find all the texts, but over and over
Probably
they
not
say,
all of them.
probably not all of them, over and over the disciples say, no, this is ours. Go away.
Yes,
But
don't
even more
bother
importantly-
Jesus. He's here for other people, not for you.
But even more importantly, this is a thing that we still see going on in the world.
Yes,
People
and in
who
the
have-
church.
And in the church especially. And the connection with this and Sam then is, what are the people who, through their misunderstandings, as this was, through their possessiveness or through their otherwise
Prejudice. I mean,
Prejudice behavior, yes.
Sam is possessive of Frodo, but he also refuses to see anything good in Gollum.
Yes.
Right?
and
He
through that-
refuses to extend the hand of mercy and forgiveness to Gollum.
And so there are people I know who would otherwise come to our churches who have said, nope, I have been treated this way and this way and this way by somebody bearing the name of Christian,
Right.
who is a follower of Jesus, and I can't stand his followers, so I'm not going to go follow Jesus.
Someone who said, when I reached out to touch the hem of his garment, one of his followers woke up and slapped my hand and said, don't you touch him. What are you up to?
Yep.
Right.
It's exactly the same story.
Right. So yeah. So I think there's this interesting flip that happens in here, right? Because you have this moment in which, and this is where the mirror image kind of dances around each other. Because
Yes.
in this moment you have Gollum reaching out for that moment of grace and mercy that might, as Tolkien says, have changed the entire story.
The rest of the story, read the whole letter, because
Yeah,
it does say,
he could
the
have
whole
changed
story would have
everything.
been different.
And so it's Gollum having that moment of transition into mercy and servanthood, right? While Sam wakes up and he says, no, this is my precious, right?
Yeah.
You will stay away from him. And and he immediately regrets it, but the damage has been done. He doesn't have, he has not, he's been so busy taking care of Frodo, he's been so busy serving Frodo, that he hasn't learned anything from the burden that Frodo is carrying.
He wants to say, the fellowship is right now, me and Frodo, and that's it.
And Gollum is leading us, and once we're done, Gollum's gonna get out of here, I can't wait to get rid of him. Right.
Gollum has not been integrated into the fellowship because we don't like him. We don't
Yeah.
trust him. We're prejudiced against him.
Right.
Whereas if he'd been able to say, okay, this is the new shape of our current fellowship, everything would have been different.
And so I mean, thinking about the sort of lessons of fellowship in here that can perhaps extend beyond just this tiny little story,
Yeah.
is that when you're thinking about servanthood and about servanthood is love, is connected to love, but both Sam and Gollum love Frodo, right? But Sam's love is protective, sometimes to the point of possessiveness, right? And because of that, he lacks mercy. Right? He lacks mercy, he lacks the ability to welcome Gollum into the fellowship in a way that could have changed the story, right? Perhaps fewer fingers would have been lost, So he fails to make that transition. On the other hand, Gollum's love is real, but it's fragile. You see it in that moment. There's that little spark, right? He's reaching for it, and I was joking earlier about Gollum's redemption story and his testifying about the mercy. This is his moment.
This is what the mercy of Frodo does to me. It turns me back into who I was.
It turns me back into who I was.
The hobbit that I should be.
And, he stands up in front of us and says, my name is Gollum S. And, I've carried the room for 2,000 years and I'm, welcome, but no, it's like he gets slapped. It's that fragileness of Gollum about to come out from this, right? So it's unstable because it also competes with his need to possess. Both of them have this need to possess. Gollum wants to possess the ring. Sam wants to possess Frodo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not in an inappropriate way.
I never said anything about that. I made no statement regarding that. But
Right?
he wants it to be, this is mine. In the
This
same
is
way,
mine.
I want this to be mine.
Mine. I know, and I noticed that it used to be over here, but now it's over
It's
here.
turning facing me.
I noticed that. That's
He's
okay.
my Frodo.
I got my own Frodo. So we really have these. It's interesting how these two characters really circle around each other, both in the narrative, but also in the way they're, sort of in more of a thematic way.
Their fortunes are linked in a very, very, very precarious way.
Yes. And I think that the last thing we want to talk about that, and that's sort of, we have these models of fellowship, but we also have this question of leadership, and this is what we talked about a lot last night in our in-person discussion. And there was such interesting stuff about leadership. We kind of decided, maybe we should extend that conversation a little bit, and so that will be next if you just stick around.